right, welcome to the first ever North Bay Bulldogs podcast for YouTube. Clinton, Coach Mathon. We're going to talk about a couple things that went on this weekend. First, we got to thank Canador. Great things happened there. Northgate's Landscaping and the Tresnak family. Fox and the Fiddle Pub, located at 112 Spencer Avenue, North Bay. Join the men's NFC team after every home game at our home of the fifth quarter. Kenny Upole, North Bay, your self-serve auto parts store located at 412 Burgess Road, North Bay. DeMarco Lucetti Insurance Brokers, go see Coach Eric or Coach Krista. Why did I draw a blank on Krista? She's literally emailing me and talking to her
single day.
500 times a day. DeMarco Lucetti Insurance Brokers, located at 693 Castles. Your home for auto, commercial, and business needs. 705-474-2420. A&S Towing, located at 1345 Franklin Street, North Bay. Call 705-497-8565 for all your towing and float needs. Right on, let's get into it. How'd you guys do in Peel?
Well, we lost Heartbreaker. I mean, it was close. That's a good team. They're just starting out, and we played well, and they played well. They have some really good athletes, and we have some outstanding athletes, and it just happens that they just edged us out. It was a heartbreaker.
Well, the first game was close too.
The first game was close too. The scoreboard was a little bit higher, but they both teams executed well. The defense played great, and like I said, they just edged us out. There was no time in either one of those games where anyone was assured to win. So It was nail biter right to the end for both. I was ecstatic with the performance of kids coming off a 2-year hiatus, away from both. They're a brand new team, and their coaching staff has just put this together, and it's really nice to see, us come together. So it was excellent. It was a great game. They were both great.
I heard you were missing some players for this game, and some really key players that may have made a difference.
Yeah, we were missing some key components, but I don't want to,
No, but what I mean is for the rest of the group to come together and play as hard as they did to make it that close of a game, despite missing some of their key players that played a big role in scoring and keeping the opponent's score down in the last game. I think it speaks highly with the group that went down. Sure.
Oh, absolutely. They really did come together. We have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But when they were asked to step up, they really did rise to the occasion. All of the substitutes. So
we had a lot of kids too, but there are a lot of kids playing both ways.
Yeah, we have some Iron Men too. It's just
So what was the score at halftime?
I don't recall exactly what the score was at halftime.
Because we saw when we were on the bus, you guys were at I think 12-12 or something.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, it was close all the way. It was a slugfest, and then they just edged us out in that fourth quarter final moments. And
Peel had that one player that
number 2
stood out from the rest.
Yeah.
How did he do?
He was electric.
Same.
He was the same. They also had this other really strong athlete, 87. He got hurt 3 or 4 plays. He's back out there and he's just making plays, doing what they do. They're a really outstanding group. But we had to put a spy on one, number 2 and 87. Corner those guys off.
How'd the quarterbacks do? How'd your quarterbacks make out?
Oh, my quarterbacks? Dane did great. I got a couple notes on him. But, he made some really key plays. 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 TD pass. Ran for some really key first downs. That's what I've noted. But just his ability to make something happen when the play breaks down is a very key element of Dane. He really does know how to prolong and extend the play when it just all goes wrong. And, he's an athlete. He wears his heart on his sleeve. So he gets out there and he's a leader. He's really good in the huddle, really good at controlling the offense. I mean, he's been with Coach Debs for years in youth, and they have this really good synergy that he already knows kind of what they should do when Coach calls it. So he just goes out there and he makes things happen. So I'm proud of both of them. In the first game, Dane got hurt. Took a little bit of a spill on the sideline. And Peyton, brand new quarterback who's really good. He's learning. He's up and coming. His mechanics are really coming along. First year quarterback, and he took charge of the offense and he filled in the role really well.
Familiarity with a coach and quarterback, if you have that before your season starts, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Really awesome. So,
yeah.
Anyways, you got some game notes.
Yeah, I got some game notes.
We'll go over some of your stuff for Bantams. So, Coach is going to grill you guys right now. So, if you're watching this on YouTube and your name comes up.
Yeah, if your name doesn't come up, it's not that we missed you. It's just that you're a big part of the team. And we had some standout performances, so don't feel bad. But in the first game, Matthias, wow, that kid on defense is he's outrageous. He's an animal. He's out of control.
What's he playing?
He's a real linebacker.
He's a linebacker.
He's a real linebacker.
He's a linebacker.
He's got the mentality and
just
the approach.
Absolutely devastating.
Really?
Yeah, he'll ruin your offense. He's one of those guys you have to look out for because if you miss him,
JV next year.
I don't know, but I hope not. But he made a couple key, 2 or 3 fumbles, sets up a touchdown, huge tackles, sack, a number of tackles for loss, fumble recovery, 25 yards in the first game. Just a beast. Just punches through that line on a blitz and
nose for the ball, and he makes the quarterback run. He is the one that they fear. So yeah, he was solid. Impressive. Is Peel AAA or are they AA?
They were AAA, and then they ran into some trouble. The OFA when penalized them for something last year, so they were suspended actually for this year, but the OSFL needed a team in to make even number of teams so that they can complete their schedule. So somehow they brokered some kind of a deal.
So before Peel, there was 38 clubs and they didn't have enough. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, I don't know how it turned out, but yeah, Peel are great people. I feel terrible about how they were handled. They're a really good bunch of people, and it wasn't even anything really serious. Had nothing to do with the kids. I just think that them being put into this situation where I don't even think that their games are going to count in the standings, something like that. That's part of their whatever penalty that they got. But they're an outstanding group of people. Their coaches are great. Their kids are nice. I mean, I just think that they're a good bunch. But they are a AAA team organization. I think that's what they were when they in 2019. So, but they're good. They're a good bunch.
I don't know. They had standout coaches who were very genuine with their thanks at the end of the game, and their parents would come and acknowledge how fantastic a show we put on, and how amicable our crowd was. There was none of that animosity. Everyone felt welcome. There was no trouble from either side. It gets heated. It's a football game, and everyone was really standout good. Their parents were great. They were thanking us, and they seemed to have a good time, just enjoying the game for what it is.
That's what it should be about, though. Football is tackling and blocking, and you don't have to hate each other to do that.
That's what makes the clubs. It's like owning a dog. There's no bad dogs. There's only bad dog owners.
Yeah.
Right? There's no bad players. There's only bad coaches.
Yeah.
Right. And when you talk about the OFA, that's something that they'll hear about on this, and maybe we'll get an eye opener for the parents that their 19-year-olds don't get to dress when it comes to senior varsity. Right? Those aren't rules that our league or our clubs make up. Those are rules that are given to us by a government organization that is, just about as difficult to deal with sometimes as a city trying to put up a fence.
Yeah.
So,
anyways, a couple other standing. Gage had 4 sacks in game 1.
4 sacks.
4 sacks. Yeah. He just got in there and made them pay. Defensively, Eric has those guys really well tuned. So, it's excellent. I'm not a defensive guy by any stretch. But
since this is our first podcast, guys, I'm going to stop you there. Because we don't talk about we're not going to say our play philosophies or our offensive philosophies, because YouTube, we don't want them to hear. They can try and figure it out with their own game film. I'm sure they all got huddle too.
Oh, yeah.
But I know what you're saying. That defense is working well, and
he's got
Eric's putting it in place.
Yeah, Eric has this ability to put kids in the best position to succeed. It's a gift he has. It's outstanding to see him work. You know, if the kid is uncomfortable in a certain position, he just kind of finds that niche and puts them in there, and all of a sudden they become a breakout superstar, and it's really cool to see. Another thing, the line. Those guys don't get enough credit. They didn't get any notes here, but both lines are the offensive line, I don't think our quarterback was really rushed or hurried very much. They kept those trenches clean. Excellent work. You know, Nader, he was doing great with his snaps, and when he got hurt, Morgan stepped in, and man, they just
Morgan.
I don't know about Morgan.
Oh, okay.
But he knows who he is.
Yeah.
He knows who he is. He's got the cool hair.
Right.
Yeah, but he stepped in and filled in the void, and everything was clean. You wouldn't even know. You could.
No, that's good.
Everyone was really good. I mean, that's a really good line. You know, Logan, Jimmy, Morgan, Troy, all of them deserve a good shout out. You know, they do a lot of work, and they get none of the accolades after. You know, the touchdown. They just kind of come back, they rinse and repeat, and then they go out there and protect their quarterback. So, you know, they're an outstanding group, and they're very protective of their quarterback. They learn well. You know, great group of kids, just outstanding.
Right on. Any difficulties in that game? Is it one play that could have changed everything?
No, I don't want to talk about it. I mean, there's always a couple plays and a couple things, but yeah, I mean, the execution needs to go a little bit more. We had some really good opportunities that, you know, it just didn't click.
So typical stuff.
We're
up north. We don't have indoor facilities.
Yeah,
change rooms. That's still an issue.
But all of that stuff, you know, notwithstanding, the kids played outstanding. They're learning. The playbook is expanding, and I honestly believe that this team is going to be very formidable very soon. They're getting to that status where the basic plays are just easy, and the execution, they just have to keep consistent. And now that we're putting in new plays that develop off the old plays that change the look, I think the next team is going to be in for quite a shock.
See, I'm not an advocate or proponent, I guess you could say, for, well, first of all, 3-down football at the junior varsity level. You guys know that. I don't think that's a great idea.
Not a fan either, but that's
not
what
a fan.
It is. It is
I'm
what
a
it
fan
is.
of 3-down football, but when you're teaching young kids, you want to have it as safe as possible and develop positions. I've said it 100 times. Universities aren't going out there looking to recruit gunners on punt team. They have 100 players. They don't need them. Everybody tries out for that. That might be your last foot in, right? We don't need to practice punt. We don't need to practice field goal. We don't need to practice kickoff. That's more than easy enough. There's nothing to it other than run and hit somebody, right? So, but I am in favor of the exhibition games now. I'll tell you why. I'm in favor of the exhibition games because I think it benefits North Bay. We don't get the numbers at all levels that the out-of-town teams that we play against do. JV, we have 38 players. We had 40-something, lost a couple, but we don't have the indoor facilities like Sault Ste. Marie where they get to play together from January till November. So there's an advantage for us for those two exhibition games not counting, and no matter what the outcome is, it at least gets us a good scrimmage in. From our first game to our second game, the defense, you wouldn't even know they were the same team. You would have thought we went and recruited all the seniors and put the junior jerseys on because their communication was insane. It was way better, and you get a little confused on offense, but I think whoever we start at quarterback, they're both great quarterbacks. They've come a long way since indoor at April. But I think whoever we put at quarterback would have been nervous, whether it was Izzy or Cole, because of what happened last game. And I think that once they got the butterflies out, the second half, our passing game was better. They knew we were going to run inside. That's all they planned to stop. So once we started passing, we were moving the ball too. And I really strongly believe that it was 4 plays that made it the score that it was it 47 or 41-0?
Yeah, 47.
47-0. Those 4 plays change, right? and it's a tie game.
Oh, yeah.
One, we should have had 2 interceptions for touchdowns we should have had. Dropped the ball.
Ouch.
2 fumbles in our red zone on kickoff return. Ouch.
Yeah.
Right? But we had some good drives, a lot of good drives. It was, 20-0 or something at halftime?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Makes sense. Which was a big change. And you know what? One was a pick 6. We flipped that around and go the other way. Riley O'Byrne dropped a couple passes that easily could have been 60, 70-yard touchdowns.
Yeah.
Easily. And that was the 3rd down play. Changed 4 plays in that game, and it's a tie game. And that's a AAA club that our guys were playing. I was really proud of them. And I think that when they get into playing AA teams, they're more than prepared. So that's made me now a proponent. I kind of like the exhibition games. I wasn't happy about it.
I was a little anxious to see how it turns out. I didn't like the idea of exhibition game, but now, with all that being said, they're still good games. It gives the kids reps coming out of a kind of a cold start, and that you can see the transformation in all 3 phases of the game with their development and playing against a different team who's actually aggressively playing to win. So it really did change, everything about the team. They got a lot better, more precise, more accurate.
Our score was obviously better than it was the week before by a touchdown. But they weren't giving us the ball, and we weren't giving it to them. Like I said, 4 plays that could have went the other way, and it's a tie game. And we had a lot of Ironmen that game because we were down 4 starters on defense. So for those of you that don't know, we play 12-man football. That's 1/3 of our defense was missing. So we didn't have Camden. He had a suspension, which I also don't agree with. We have Backer, who got injured in the first quarter, I believe it was. Yeah. First half, anyway. And then Caleb was away. He was out of town. And Graydon had bronchitis. So 3 DBs and a linebacker, 3 DBs and a linebacker out. D-line showed up. They took a step forward. Got a little bit of work to do there, but the communication, amazing. Even just from the first half to the second half, amazing. Right? It's still exhibition, but they didn't take their starters out. They played them the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
And it's on film. They didn't take out their D tackle. They didn't take out their D ends. They had a lot of players there. They didn't take out any of their starters. We had everybody play. It's an exhibition game, right? But they weren't letting their foot off the throttle.
Oh.
It was pretty awesome. I was proud of them. They did really well. Coach, what do you think?
Well, I mean, you made the point earlier about the there weren't a whole lot of plays that made a difference. I mean, both it speaks to how prepared the defense was for what they were doing, the way we adjusted, the way we made the adjustments to their motion, that sort of thing. And the system that we put in and some of the things we did in practice prepared them. They were in the right place at the right time. So, like you said, there were 2 plays where our defender made the right decision, the right reaction, ended up at the right, and the ball was thrown to the flats, like for a 1-yard gain, a hitch type of pass. And our guy hit him he got in there and he hit it in the numbers, and those would have been scores. So that would have been 14 points for us. But on each one of those drives, because they didn't score, the next play scored for them.
Yeah.
So then that would have been 2 less touchdowns for them and 2 more touchdowns for us. That's a 28-point turnaround, right?
You know what? Also in the first half, Izzy hit Ryan Smetana, which on a deeper ball, he dropped it.
Yep.
And then when we went to punt, Justin Marietti dropped back to pass it. It was a fake punt. And Ryan also dropped a second one after that. He was really mad at himself. Yeah. But both those could have been scores also. Yeah.
Then in the second half, quarterback threw the ball, and who was it? Riley was wide open, but the ball was thrown a little bit behind him, and he was and it was thrown behind him, and he was completely alone. Like, so alone, it was like, uncovered. And just, a couple yards the other way, you would have caught it and scored. So
that's 28 to 35 points right there.
Yeah, if you look at that, if you look at those signs, generally speaking, as the levels get higher, offense generally lags defense early in the season.
Yep.
And sure enough, as we walk into this weekend's game, it's going to be a first season game. Hopefully some of these things will be connecting rather than just barely disconnecting. But I mean, our defense, we worked hard on a few things, and we saw some of the results from that hard work on the weekend's game. For me, I noticed linebacker play had improved drastically, and defensive end play had really improved. It was really nice to see. I'm excited about this weekend as well as this week's practices. Right.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to working with the guys this week.
I never like to get to build them up or to create a lead in, but they're going from a AAA team that was beatable for them, and now they got the rest of their season in front of them with AA clubs.
Hopefully this game.
What do you think the difference is going to be?
Speed. I think I'm hoping that they'll notice that the games coming up are going to be a little slower for them in terms of the opponents that they're meeting. Generally, when you're playing a higher caliber, the one thing that you come back and say, "Oh, wow, that was fast. This is a fast game," and as you get accustomed to that, you're getting accustomed to that speed. Is actually gives you the appearance that the game's slowing down for you. So your reactions are faster, and it's not so much the game's slowing. It's just that you're getting faster at your reactions, right? So I'm thinking that these first two games are at the very least going to help them make their reactions faster, and we'll see how it goes this week in practice and in the game. I think we got all of our players back for this game, and it'll be a home game, so everybody's going to be excited. Hopefully they keep their bodies intense and their minds calm so they can react properly and keep their focus on the task at hand.
I can vouch for you when you say that, because we didn't have summer football, right? So when I was playing with the men's, although I was getting the crap kicked out of me, 3 practices a week in a game. When I went back to high school, you're right. Slow.
It was like, whoa, you guys are slow, man.
You find yourself walking a lot more. Yeah. There's the collisions are much lighter. It's not.
They appear that way.
There's a lot more breakdown in the mesh and in the snap. It's everything. It's mice and men. If it can't
Another
go wrong,
big thing
it won't go wrong.
For the younger team is confidence, understanding that your equipment will protect you, understanding that when you do a proper tackle, you'll be safe, and when that first game one comes and you have the jitters, you're worried what's going to happen. Are you going to get hurt? Are you going to make a bad play? And then when they get out there for a quarter or two, and all of a sudden they discover that everything is like we told them in practice, they get that confidence, and then they actually start to go out there and be more aggressive, be faster. Trust the system, trust what they're being told, and then they do a lot better. They really excel. They don't have that hesitation when they make a tackle, and it really does show. Game after game, they just become confident and they become, exceptional players. They really just kind of burst out of that bubble of anxiety, and that's what these exhibition games kind of demonstrated. For some of these kids, they get out there in the field for the first time. They have their stuff on. They're always assessing what the other team looks like, who the big kid is, how they're going to match up. And then when they get on the field for a quarter or two, then they find out, hey, I can do this. I can match up with this guy. I just have to do my job. And then they come on the bench, and then they're not so worried about if they're going to get hurt. They're worried about how can I stop the opponent or how can I do my job. And it's really nice to see. So.
Hey, you guys don't know this, but we're a hot topic right now in North Bay, and 90.5 is now Bulldogs country.
No good.
That's cool.
Right?
That's great.
Starting advertising on Thursday. The funny part about that is we have more people wanting to get involved with us and help us out with all this stuff than we ever have. Lots of marketing going on this year. You see us on buses, listen to the radio, we're everywhere. So it's funny because Gabby, who they hired to do the Summer Fun Runner, was at our first exhibition game, our home game. And the Summer Fun Runner, they packed that thing full of swag and gifts and free stuff to give away all weekend, right? She ran out in like 15, 20 minutes of the game.
I believe it. Our fans are ravenous. They're great.
In 4 years or something like that, they've never run out of stuff on the first day. They just got the vehicle on Friday.
Yeah.
They're out.
That's cool.
So I got some more stuff I got to give her. We're giving away tickets and T-shirts and hats and stuff like that with the Summer Fun Runner all summer. So everybody look out for Gabby. Get some free stuff.
Swag.
More swag. Thanks, Krista. Remembered her name.
Oh yeah.
My apologies.
Oh yeah.
She's gonna see this and get mad at me. How did you? I don't know. I was busy. I was thinking. We got scripts we're trying to write down here.
Yeah. Stay out of her way.
Anyway, so senior varsity doesn't play this weekend.
Yeah, they got a bye. They have a bye this week, and their first game's going to be the 11th, I believe, against Clarington, in fact. But
the Knights.
Yeah, so they have a bye this week, and that means they had a bye last week as well, so they got 2 weeks to prepare for that game. Sounds like their players are pretty excited. The biggest downer about that whole level is the this dumb rule limiting the number of 2003s that can be on the roster for any single game. I have yet to get any kind of an appropriate explanation for it that makes any sense.
It's safety. It's all safety.
Well, it's not safety. It has nothing to do with safety.
It's why we play 3 down versus 4. It's why we have to pay insurance. It's why all these things it's all safety.
No, it's if it's
stoking the fire.
Yeah, if they're selling it, then they're selling a lie. I mean, we're one big family, North Bay Bulldogs. We have kids playing from 10 years old to 42 years old. I think Ronnie's turned 42 now, and he's playing with the NFC team. But we've got that kind of a family going on, and so my first priority is to stand behind my family. I know that in the big cities where you have millions of people to draw from, you could probably find 40 kids that are 17 and 18 and maybe 8 or 9 or 10, 19-year-olds to play. But when you're 50,000 like we are, and other municipalities like us, even Sudbury, I mean, they had to fold their senior varsity team because they were limiting the number of 19-year-olds to only 10. So that's a whole group of people who wanted to play OSFL football and couldn't play. Now, the OSFL, they actually supported unlimited numbers of 19, but it's the Ontario Football Alliance, the provincial sport organization, and Football Canada. And I grilled them, but the answer I get is, get this, is they tell me that the reason they want to get rid of the 19-year-olds or limit the 19-year-olds is because the athletic development of the body of a 17-year-old it lags so far behind. There's a big difference, they say, between them and the 19-year-old. And so because of that, they want to reduce the amount of collisions taking place from 19-year-olds and 17-year-olds. However, I accept that scientifically there's lots of data and evidence out there that supports the notion and the hypothesis that the human body develops at a certain rate, and that when you're 17 years old, your body is generally here, and when you're 19 years old, your body's generally here, and your body doesn't really mature athletically until you're mid to late 20s. So you're on your way up. But that fact has there's no data anywhere in the world, anywhere in the football world that you can find.
There's no data in any sport.
That
because they wouldn't be drafting NHL players at 18 years old and starting.
That would transfer that hypothesis into meaning that there's a higher risk of a 17-year-old being injured playing in a league that has 17, 18, and 19. That's number one. First of all, that data doesn't exist. Nobody can show evidence that a 17-year-old is at more risk of getting injured than a 19-year-old. And so I looked into it even more for more examples, and then one hit me right in the face, and it was Football Canada sanctions all these leagues, including the PSO in Ontario, which sanctions the OSFL, and that's the explanation they give us. But they also sanction the CJFL. And the CJFL, you one team playing against another team, and on that one team you can see players that are 17 years old all the way to 23 years old. That's sanctioned by the same group. So that completely falsifies any claim that limiting 19-year-olds is going to make the game safer on that. At the same time, if they want to even think about making the game a little bit safer at the amateur level, especially Tier 2 versus Tier 3, is make it 4 downs. There's tons of data in the States and Canada that an overwhelming majority of injuries that take place on the field occur on punt return. So in 4-down football, each team might punt 3 times, 2.7 times on average. But on 3-down football, you're punting a dozen times.
Well, that's exactly why I said no club team practices special teams at 100%. Because you can't afford to lose people in practice, let alone in a game.
Well, yeah, that's the first rule. So you don't want to lose anybody in practice.
We don't like to see ankles being wrapped and let go. If you grab an ankle, if you can, let it go. Right? Yeah. We don't teach that anyway. So
it's not a safety thing.
It's not a safety thing, but that's what we keep getting told, right?
Oh, well,
anybody watching this, if it's a parent, when Mark says PSO, he's talking about the Ontario Football Alliance, which pretty much tells every league in Ontario.
Every league that's a member of theirs.
How to operate.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that make the rules. So when you do have complaints, make sure you send them to the OFA. Because we can't do anything about it.
I actually think that this rule, this restriction of to 10, 19-year-olds is actually, I believe it's an illegal rule. I actually think it's it's a violation of human rights on the basis of age, but also on the basis of regional origin, where people come from. That's one of the things that people are protected from in terms of discrimination.
Well, the reason I push that they say safety, the reason I push that is because there's doctors and nurses that are friends of the club that they may have a child that can't play that's 19, and they're the professionals that we need to step in and say
there is no safety issue.
Well,
not if the OHL can have a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old playing against a 20-year-old getting checked in the corners.
Different PSO though, right?
Totally different PSO, but it's the same hypothesis that fails. There is no evidence that a 17-year-old is at more risk of getting injured playing in any league that has 17, 18, and 19-year-olds. It's just it makes no sense, and it harms North Bay. It harms smaller centers in the north, like North Bay, Sudbury, and other smaller centers across Ontario, because we don't have the numbers to field a team with just 17 and 18-year-olds. Like our group has 32, 33 kids, players, and 16 of them are 19-year-olds. Well, you take 6 there, and now you got to field a team with 26, 27 players. Well, the rule, not our recruiting, not our population, not our work, the rule puts us at close to 25. So if 2 kids are injured for a game, that puts us from 26 to 24. And according to the OSFL, we can't field a team with less than 25 players.
Well,
it's a failure. It's a failed hypothesis.
If there's any senior varsity players that are watching, that will be watching, don't be afraid to ever play men's. If you're one of those 19-year-olds, I did it at 13 and 14. I got put on kickoff and kick return. Yeah, it was scary, but it wasn't any different than what you guys are doing at 18, 19. So go ahead and sign up for the men's, win a championship with that team this year. You guys are going to be playing Sudbury for your home opener.
Yeah, we just to clarify on that, what I've spoken with Jason Ferreira, the head coach of the senior varsity, and how we're dealing with this rule is we're offering to all the 19-year-olds to go ahead and sign with the men's team, so that the 6 that are not able to be on the roster on game day with the senior varsity, with their senior varsity brothers, those 6 can come and play with their senior men's, their NFC brothers, and we'll make sure that we get them some field time on that as well. And but the priority for those guys is to make sure that they take good care and they make sure that they play on the senior varsity team and whatever rotation their head coach requires.
They're still practicing, right?
They're practicing with them, and the whole bit. We'll find some playing time. We've got a few positions where we can use some.
Get them up to the NFC.
Yeah,
there was years when I was 16, 17 that 1/3 or at least a quarter of the NFC team was high school kids.
Oh yeah,
and you always had one that would stand out. Adam Nicholson was one.
Yeah, he's in high school.
Tyler Krogan, myself, we were all in high school playing with the Bulldogs, and at the very least you had an extra body that helped get a scrimmage in practice.
I even played 2 years in FC before going to university football, and there's a bunch. I mean, even Jason Ferreira himself played. I think when he was 18 or 19 years old when he started his career. But there was NFC,
no summer football before.
Exactly. The NFC is littered with stories of great players having started their football career in the NFC at 18, 19 years old. Now that we have senior varsity, and we've got a place for 17, 18, and 19-year-olds to play, that's terrific. That's going to feed the NFC team. And this year, we just want to make sure that we provide those guys an opportunity to go ahead and join our club and get some NFC experience while they're on their off week when they're not playing the NFC.
Hey, you know what? There's a lot of guys that are playing on the senior team that would not mind the challenge.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of players that thrive on that. Like, I'm going to be all right, but I'm gonna work a little bit harder. It's going to prepare me a little bit better and go from there.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, the challenge should elevate their game.
Exactly.
You know?
Oh, definitely.
They'll rise to the occasion. I've seen those senior varsity players. They've been, we've been with the club for a long time, and I've seen them rise through the ranks from youth all the way up, and there's some excellent players, and they'll do just fine. They really do. I do not like the idea of the partitioning of the later ages. I mean, you're gonna run less numbers, more time, and you're still gonna have those bigger, more intimidating opponents. Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense to me.
Safety. Is it safer to play with 32 guys on the field where you got depth, or 26?
And that's really the thing. They're running harder. They're going to get more playing time. They're going to get exhausted faster. I mean, these are still some really hyper good athletes, but
as far as I'm
everyone still has a limit.
Yeah.
And when you get to that limit and you're starting to make sloppy mistakes, you can get hurt a lot faster. Yeah, it does my heart bad to see these other kids have to not play with their friends. It's not.
I mean,
not compelling to me to hear that kind of rule. I don't want to get into the politics of it all, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes no sense. So. I've asked a whole bunch of times. I've not been able to get an answer. Yeah, that makes any sense. I mean, imagine being the coach. You know, all 16 of those players can play, and they're all playable, and they can all own a spot, and you got to pick 6. Mm-hmm. Wow. And it's just going to be numbers. Yeah. It's not going to be based on athletic capacity.
Hey, take what you can. Send them to the Mets.
Well, that's what we're going to do.
I honestly feel that the senior varsity should only be 17 and 18. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, but there wouldn't be that team here in North Bay.
Well, then there'll be 17, 18-year-olds on the men's team. And you'll be building a solid foundation. And I know that sounds crazy, but like I just said, from 2001 till 2010, that's what you did. And we had great numbers for practices.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
At the very least. And we didn't have a lot of high school kids, but 1/3 to 1/4 of your team was in high school or graduating. Right?
Yeah, that is true.
And the practices, it made for great scrimmages. And as a coach, you're not going to build your quarterback's confidence by letting them throw fades on a 16-year-old all practice. You're not going to do that to them. You're going to make sure that there's still competition in practice, but you're going to have the numbers there also, right? That's what you guys used to do. So when there was no summer senior varsity team. But it'll get back. 2 years off football, you got to get people's minds back into that place. And, the Bantam's in a great place with 50, 60 kids needing 2 buses. I mean, it's only going to build up JV and then build up senior varsity again. So it'll be great. But we don't have too much time left here. We're at our 39th minute. How's the NFC looking for Saturday? Are you guys prepared? How's your numbers?
Our numbers, we're sitting at around mid to high 30s. I think by the end of the week, we'll be sitting around 40 players. I think we'll probably dress this week, probably 30, 32, 33. But the following game for next week, we'll probably be sitting at around 40. And I'm excited, actually. You know, we've got that group, that graduating group, and it's always been part of the plan. Like you said, start with junior varsity and Bantam to feed junior varsity feed senior varsity, and then get those graduates that hang around to keep playing football and to stay in the football lifestyle. What?
I've been around that team since 2001, and with some fast guys, and I don't think they're faster than what you have today.
Well, we have,
and that's the sound of what I hear at football practice when I'm leaving. That's them running.
Yeah,
they're that fast.
We've got a couple.
I haven't seen the combination of height and speed and size on that team like that. Even with your 30 guys for a while. Not since I've been around the Bulldogs. Not since 2001.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're all young. I think I got 10 returners. I got 10 returners, of which 3 of them are playing in a different position. So we're definitely a young team. In terms of skill and talented, yeah, I'd say I'm cautiously excited about what we've got. You know, we're playing Sudbury. Sudbury, the last time they came here, they pounded on us while we were a little thin on numbers, and they got us good there. It was 57-0 or something like that, and then the time before that, I think it was 40-something-0. I don't even know if we scored a touchdown on them in 2019. Yes, we did actually. We scored a return, but you know, Sudbury's always a rival game. I know their coaches; they know me. But you know, they're coming here with a good group of 40 players as well, and so we're looking forward to it.
How many of those 40 are from their senior varsity team?
I have no idea. I haven't checked that roster, and I don't have access to those numbers.
That'd be exciting to know.
One of the things they did tell me was that they had a very good contingent of their veterans that joined the team about a couple weeks ago. So they seem to be very confident. I think from Sudbury, I would expect to see a solid offensive line, a solid defensive line. They really focus a lot of their energy on gaining the advantage in the line of scrimmage. Their quarterback is a Mount Allison quarterback who's playing there now. I think he's in his second year. He's going into his second year. He was a rookie this past year.
How'd Mount Allison do in the CIS this year?
No idea. Doesn't matter. He's playing with a new group. But
I was just gonna ask you how if they did better than Bishops.
Yeah. No, they didn't. But so we're looking
a little bit of a rivalry there starting already.
Well,
Sudbury North Bay.
Sudbury North Bay's been rivals forever.
That's been.
But then when you throw a Mount A and then some East Coast guys, we got a lot of guys who go to the East Coast. St. FX, the McGill brothers, Jay Turnsick, Bishops, lots of Bishops. Yeah. So lots out on the East Coast.
I think Gavin's going to St. Mary's.
It's because they all grow up ice fish and they love fish, right? Where do you get it fresher? The further east you go, the fresher the fish.
Halifax.
Yep.
Lobster.
Yeah. That's taking it to the highest degree.
Yeah.
So that game's going 7:00. It's going to be our first real test, because I always have a lot of respect for Sudbury in terms of what they come with. They come ready to play no matter what, and our job as a coaching staff this week is to get our guys ready to take on that rivalry game and go. So this year we play Sudbury this weekend, and we go to Oakville to play the Longhorns. And as you know, the Longhorns, they have quite a storied history. They won the league championship 10 years in a row. So we got to go play those guys on the 11th, and then we have a bye on the 18th. And then our other northern rivals, the Sioux Steelers, come and visit us on the 25th. So we got a pretty full June ahead of us, and so we're looking forward to it. Yeah.
Is that the updated schedule up there on the website we got?
Yes, it is.
For all levels, or is it for...
for 3 levels.
For 3?
Yeah.
So we're waiting to finalize to make
finalize the NFC.
I'd say finalize SV and NFC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we have
but that's been finalized, right? You guys are only going with 7 games this year?
It's just been finalized. I've got the schedule. I'll be able to pitch it to you there. And it's a 6-game schedule in the NFC.
6 game?
Yep.
See, that's what happens with the pandemic and not knowing, are we going to go with football or not until March?
Yeah.
A lot of people, I try to explain this over and over. Well, when we do have a regular season, we're planning in December, January. We're not planning in March.
Yeah, there's not that
when we're told,
time.
okay, you can go, we're like, oh, I thought this was never going to happen. All of a sudden, everyone's sprinting 100 miles an hour everywhere. Yeah. Right? Where do we get knee pads? Where do we get shoulder pads? Do we need helmets? Do we not need helmets? Right?
Shortages in equipment.
Yeah. But you know what? There's no shortage in kids and
no, and ambition.
Yeah. So I told people whenever I was out talking with sponsors and stuff, I said, look, we need help because we just went through 2 years of no income that we budgeted for to help replace equipment and expenditures, and while stuff's sitting on a shelf aging, we have no income.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the important, and a lot of the sponsors stepped up. We did really well. So a lot of them are new that we haven't even talked to before, and I'm excited for it to grow even more. You guys saw the sponsor programs that are going to have player inserts inside.
Yep. Fantastic.
Yeah, I got it right here. I'll show it off to you.
Yeah.
You'll get to see it on game day.
Yeah, that's the best program the Bulldogs have ever put out. Every page is glossy in color. Yeah. I don't think we've ever done that before. We've had some pretty nice programs in the past, but nothing like that.
There's our Bulldogs country.
Yeah, there it is. Absolutely.
Let me see.
We're so appreciative of all the sponsors for helping out at all levels.
Cool.
They do make a difference.
Going to need to do a logo now. Bulldogs country logo.
Bulldogs country, yeah.
With ours and their logo all together.
We got to have a shout out to Eddie Court also for all of our IT and posters, and great job on that. Yeah. Well, everybody loves it, and
just being part of the team.
Cord, what do you guys do right now? Like, what are you
network support,
networking,
and business IT. So if your business needs IT support, give me a call.
Yeah, man. So. No, you've done us very well in the business that we own. You've really helped us out a lot, and it's really awesome to have you aboard the Bulldogs as well.
Oh yeah, it's been a great program to be part of.
It's fun.
My kids have aged out, graduated out, but I'm still here. It's still a great family to be part of. So
yeah. We just never grew up.
Yeah, I never grew up. I never grew out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I got a lot of good coach mentors, the Bantam team is just filled with great coaches that I'm learning from. The offense is stacked, from Coach Ryan to Nick. Congratulations on the baby, by the way.
Oh yeah, Nick.
Yeah. Congrats. And Eric.
Shout out, soon to be fan of the club.
Yeah. Grooming our players young. But awesome. Coach Ryan, his kid was outstanding. Like, that kid is an incredible athlete, a paragon.
He's got good vision.
Oh my goodness, he played Ironman both games.
Hey, I heard
he made huge plays.
I heard
just
today,
incredible.
I heard today from Krista.
Chip off the old block, I think.
I heard from Krista today too that she overheard your players and how pumped up they were about our home field this year.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
They were much more excited. They were no offense to Peel. Every club works hard and provides kids with a chance to play football. We just do it a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's a great show. It gets them pumped.
Well, we're lucky enough to have a lot of interested volunteers too. Yeah. I mean, the group of volunteers. Yeah, I just can't speak more highly of both the volume and the quality of people that have joined our club that want to be part of it. And from us doing the work that we do, and them, it's like we need to add an element of social interaction. We like each other; it's a good bunch, but the accomplishments that we make, I mean, nobody could ever say we don't accomplish anything.
Yeah, and we don't have time for the element of social interaction.
Yeah, I know. But we want to get there.
We're sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was
eat,
crashed.
sleep, football, repeat.
Yeah.
But that looked good. They had fun with the tunnel, and I heard that they were talking about it. That's great.
Yeah.
So you guys, we're both playing JV, Bantam and JV are both playing 2 and 4, 15.
2 and 4. Yeah, 15.
Clarington Knights.
That's
this is always the official kickoff.
They follow us from league to league, and it's always a great event. I mean, they're a tough team. They're always. It's a rivalry.
I don't want to be rude, but I had to look up where Clarington was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and I was like, why do they have low numbers? Oh, well, because they're surrounded by big clubs. Peterborough, Oshawa.
They got grit, though.
Kingston,
they're tough.
Quinty.
Yeah, they're good.
We don't take them for granted at all. They're a tough team. They've always been a tough team.
Right on.
So, Looking forward to the game.
And then the SVs have a bye NFC kicking off 7:15 against Sudbury
Spartans.
Rivalry, a real NFC football game with real original NFC clubs. I like that. That was always fun to play in. And what are we doing next week? We're all away.
Yeah, we're all away next week. Yeah, we got a week off. No, off for our volunteers here at home. The barbecue doesn't work, but yeah, we're all the way.
Sounds good. All right. Well, that's our first podcast, guys. Anything else you want to follow up with?
No, we're good.
No.
And more shout-outs? Oh, I got to give one out to Justin Marietti. He was the hardest worker of the week. He got a hard hat. Bring it back to practice on Wednesday night. You got to bring that back. Make sure you sign it with a Sharpie. You guys will have your hard hat this week.
I hope so.
Thanks to the engraving shop. It's given out to the hardest working player each week, and they get to sign it, and the most signatures at the end of the year ends up getting it. Yeah. Right? So
I do have a shout out. I forgot Tio. He ran a jet sweep 40-yard, tied our game up. And that kid, he cut through their defense like a knife. Didn't want to miss him. I had him on my notes. I just overlooked him. That whole receiving core that Nick has created. Oh my goodness, they're formidable. They're going to be something special.
I'm taking some of your Bantam players, apparently, to the morning show with Kevin O on 90.5 next week.
Good.
So I'm not going to say who it is, but I got an idea. And they're going to be coming in the studio. Their parents will bring them. I'll meet them there. Make sure to have their game jerseys, and they'll be on the morning show with Kevin O. He's got some questions for him right after the, $1,000 game or something like that?
Yep.
He gives away money for people who can answer so many questions.
Right on.
I could never answer any of those questions.
No. Keep me out of it. So, this is where I stay.
Yeah. It's awesome.
All right, that's a wrap, guys. We'll see you guys next week after the games. We'll recap everything that went on, and we'll see who got W's.
All right. We'll see you at the field.
Have a good one.
Go do our best. Right on.